Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita, and I am joined by another co-host, but a different Nick. Nick, welcome to the Bulls side of things. How you doing, my man?
Not too bad. Happy to be here. It's been a while since I've been on the Bulls side of things, and Nick Barr gave me the honor. He texted me, he goes, "Hey, you're up tonight," and I was like, "Okay, no, yeah, okay, no K for me. You know, you get it. Hey, bing, bang, boom." But I'm good to go. Thanks for having me on, Tony.
Yeah, glad to have you. So we're talking today about how the Bulls did not make any trades. Really didn't. Yeah, they just didn't make any moves. But can still make some changes post deadline. Obviously, that's more buyouts. And different stuff like that. So that includes guys like Goran Dragic. Yep, nailed that one. And Paul Millsap. So what are you thinking? I guess my question is, what is your kind of initial reaction? Do you think they should have done something? What are you feeling?
I think they should have done something because you do have time in between when, I know like a month away from having Caruso and a month away from having Derek Jones Jr. and you have Patrick Williams at the end of the season and then Alex Caruso. Like, I get it. But, you have the big three right now running the show. And like, it shows that our bench depth is not as strong as we thought it was. Shout out to the bench mob, though. We'll get into that in a little bit. But we do have a bench mob. There's no doubt about it. There's guys that are hurt. But I was like, man, we need somebody. We just need someone to come in, spark it, new gel. But AK likes the group of guys. I like the group of guys. I do love this Bulls group. They're very talented. Again, top of the East. What do you want from us? But I thought they'd keep going. But I'm excited for the buyout market. That's what I know we're hitting on today. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, so I'll give my initial reaction, then we'll kind of just jump into who is potentially available that we could scoop up after they potentially get bought out. So I guess I actually just changed my opinion like 5 seconds ago to kind of more of a neutral stance of where I agree with AK. I like the guys we got. Like you said, guys are coming back. We'll probably be fine. At least ride it out to the end of the year, see what we got. If we can get Patrick Williams, that was honestly the biggest deciding factor on me to be a little bit on that stance. Patrick Williams should be back. However, as we were kind of talking where, oh yeah, we got the big three, we got this, we got that. You kind of remember how fast things fall apart in the NBA, how quick, like not to compare us to the Warriors and Kevin Durant and whatever, but Kevin Durant tears his ACL. He kind of leaves at the end of the year. It just kind of, obviously they bounce back pretty well. Don't get me wrong, but things go quick in the NBA. The Nets right now with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and no longer James Harden and Kyrie Irving. So I'm neutral on it, and we'll kind of get into this. This is where I want them to be more active because I didn't want them to really give up any assets player wise. I was fine with draft picks, but I kind of like now the situation they're in where they can throw a little money around. And so the first guy this is the heavy hitter kind of expected of the buyout market, I think, in my opinion, that's expected to be bought out by the Spurs that could be signing with Chicago. That's Goran Dragic. So he had a weird day. I would love to be an NBA player for a day at the trade deadline just to know what kind of goes on behind the scenes. So he was sent to the Spurs from Toronto, along with a protected 2022 and a 2023 first round pick for Thad Young. Remember that name? Drew Eubanks, I believe that's how that's pronounced, and a 2022 second round pick via the Pistons. The pick is protected 1 through 14 in 2022, 1 through 13 in 2023, would turn into 2 seconds beyond that. I love NBA trades with their protections. Very Crazy. Funny. It's so funny. So a little bit about Dragic. He is a point guard. So it would be, again, that's why I'm happy we didn't trade for him. That's why this would be kind of a buyout. And I know we're getting guys back, but that would be kind of a nice little stabilization for the next couple months here. Kind of a guy, like a veteran. He's 35 years old. He's been in the league for 14 years. Career stats, 872 games, 13.9 points per game, 46.2 field goal percentage, 36.4 from three, 3.1 rebounds, 4.8 assists. Little fun fact, the player dunked on by D Rose the player D Rose dunked on, my apologies, for Stacey's famous, stop it, get up or get out the way. I love it. I love that. Dude, that's how we remember certain players. And so far this season, he's got 8 points per game. He's shooting 38.2% from the field, which isn't great for his position or for what I would want him to be if he came in 28.6 for three rebounds, 1.8 assists.
And again, it's been an off year. Like,
for sure.
He's a good player. Like,
not his career high. Wasn't used. Yeah, he wasn't probably used properly in Toronto. Toronto's been a weird team too. They've got injuries and they've been figuring stuff out. So, Nick, thoughts on the move? Potential move.
I don't get it. I don't get the move. And I know Bulls fans are like, how do you not understand this move? It's more depth. We have Kobe White. That's a huge reason why the Bulls weren't trading, because we weren't willing to give pretty much anybody up. Yeah. We have Lonzo. We have Ball. Like we have him. He's just injured. We have Caruso. We have Io. Like we have all these players on the team. Sure, a vet is awesome. If you could bring it in for $800K and let San Antonio chew up his giant contract, sure, by all means, bring him in. But like Matt Thomas, I could see that being the replacement. But Io's for sure going to get more playing time. Kobe's going to get more playing time. And when Ball's back, that's your starter. Like I just don't see the move. Tony, what do you think about it?
It's truly just not a position of need right now at all. And if we are going to go after some of these other guys that we're going to talk about here, that's just another roster spot taken up by, like, we'd have to cut them. Like, we would just have to let them go in a month, So, and like, you're right. I know, like we said, Lonzo, Caruso's hurt. Io was out with concussion protocol. Kobe White stepped up. He had 0 turnovers against a good, scrappy,
very good team. Yeah,
he had just a good game. It wasn't, eye-popping stats, but it was true command of an offense. And I know that was the guy we were supposed to trade, and that's the guy everyone wanted to see.
Happy we did.
I am too. He's here now, so we're stuck with him.
And it truly shows that Jim Boylan held him back.
Yeah, and it's the best part, I think, that's going to come out of this. And again, we're going to get into why we should probably get a big man or someone to kind of help down low. Is these guys, Io, Kobe, these even just like the deeper bench players, Malcolm Hill, even if he somehow sticks around on this team when everyone comes back, they're getting so much experience that when they play 3 minutes in a meaningful game down the stretch, they're not going to just be like, oh, this is the first time I touched basketball in 2 months. What do I do?
Yeah.
They're at least going to be fine. And that's all we need.
Chemistry.
We just need fine. We need fine when they're coming in, when everyone's back. So you want to talk about, oh yeah.
No. So I was going to say, talking about a guy that could bring a lot of chemistry to the Bulls is Paul Millsap. And before we get into Paul Millsap, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor of this episode, The Bench Mob. Look at Tony's shirt, his wristbands, logos at the top. He sent me a women's large by accident, so I don't have a shirt that fits me, unfortunately, but we are getting more because they have more coming out. But the Bench Mob started in 2010, re-emerged back in 2011 as the best bench in the NBA. No doubt about that. To get your Bench Mob merch, visit the link in the description and use code JAY20, that's J20, to get 20% off your order. So stay tuned for that.
Tony's best bets of the weekend are Bengals +4 or better. If you can find 4.5, I know PointsBet is kind of bouncing between 4 and 4.5. It's the year of the Tiger. Got to take the Bengals. Yes, I know the Rams are probably the better team on paper, and all that jazz. However, I feel like the Rams have a lot more to lose. The Bengals lose, it's like, we shouldn't have been here anyway. If the Rams lose, it's, oh, really? You basically tried to buy a championship. And they have no draft picks. They have all these big contracts. Stafford's another year older. So I think there's almost too much pressure on the Rams to win this Super Bowl, especially in LA, even though there's no actual Rams fans that exist in the world. But I think it's got to be the Bengals. I think that's, at the very least, it'll be more fun than having the Rams. And that's what sports betting is all about. It's about entertainment. My second pick is Tails. I'm putting $3,000 on Tails, or I'm trying to. Caesar Sportsbook would actually have any sort of good support system that can answer and help me set up an account, but they refuse to, so maybe I'll have to go somewhere else. $3,000 on Tails. Tails never fails, and that's all you need to know. And my final pick of the weekend is, so college basketball lines, they're not out this early. I tried to check. There's no lines, not one single line for Saturday, from what I was looking at. So my pick for you, it's for the people. It's +115, a 2-team parlay here. It's UFC. It's Derek Lewis and Israel Adesanya. Jeez, such a tough name, but I got it. Israel Adesanya. So that's +115, both of them to win. They should both be Odyssey favored by more. There's no reason that should be plus money. Take it, sprinkle it, a little Saturday night, even if you don't watch it. Wake up in the morning, have a little money in your account, and you can throw it all on Tails. And then you double the Tails, you bet the Bengals live. Boom. 3-0, big time winners. Have a good weekend, everyone. Have a good Super Bowl Sunday.
So, Tony, kind of what I was hitting on before is another guy that could potentially get bought out today or within the next whatever hours is Paul Millsap, a very savvy veteran, a guy that was an absolute baller for a long time in this league, still has a pretty strong presence, can still be an impact for the Bulls. But he could get bought out by the 76ers. He was sent there today in the James Harden, Ben Simmons trade. So the OG trade itself was that James Harden went for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. Honestly, I don't know why Philly did this trade.
Insane trade. Insane.
It's insane. The Nets are going to be just stupid good now. And Philly's like, okay, we got James Harden, like sick. We got Paul Millsap. He's probably gone. So let's talk about Paul Millsap a little bit. He's a power forward, something that the Bulls do need. This is an area of need for the Chicago Bulls. He's 37 years old, though, 16 years pro. So he's savvy. He's got the experience. He's played in over 1,000 games, 1,076 games. He has 13.5 points per game on average, 48.9 field goal percentage career. That's pretty impressive. 34.1 3-point percentage. Not bad, not great. 7.1 rebounds per game and 2.2 assists. So fun fact, he was actually on Bulls fans' radar this past summer. Like everyone's like, oh, bring him in.
We talked about him. Yeah.
We talked about him, ended up going to Brooklyn. And now, hey, he could be coming back for probably 1/100th of the cost. So just the overall move, we do need a big man. There's no doubt about that. His veteran presence is obviously very valuable to any NBA team that takes him. But is he the player he once was? No. But can he bring a presence and form to this team that could help a Patrick Williams, that could help other younger guys? Absolutely. Give him $1 million. It's worth every single penny. Tony, what are your thoughts on the move? Potential move?
Yeah, I agree with you. Just give him a little guaranteed contract. Be like, hey, we'll be honest, we're going to cut you. As soon as, we get the guys back, we're cutting you to, make space on this team again. We just, I guess actually maybe we can keep him on the bench, send Tony Bradley down. But we just need a guy to stand in the middle of the paint. Vooch, I know, has kind of been that guy. He's been kind of slacking on defense recently. We just need a person to just be there when they drive to the lane. That's all we need. And so either way, I think it's a good pickup as long as it's for the right amount of money. And it, again, we just need a drive stopper. We need somebody to grab a rebound real quick. Nick, I know you're about to say words. I just want to complain so fast about our offensive rebounding against the Hornets. I mean, they were just throwing
horrible.
bricks.
They just watched it.
They were building houses out there, and it's just bouncing right back to them, and then just tossing up again. And thankfully, it would just bounce out of bounds. That was our only relief. And Vooch, he's kind of protecting the middle, I guess, but that was infuriating. So
so bad.
If Paul Millsap would promise to grab at least one of those, $2
million, I don't care.
Oh my God, totally agree. So I know that we have 2 more players. We're just going to quickly go through them. But another one to keep on our radar is the potential buyout of Robin Lopez, Bulls ex-center during the Jim Boylan days. Could be interesting. I wouldn't mind it. He played for the Bulls, knows the system, knows the UC, knows the fans, fan favorite. Tony, we didn't bring up stats with him, but could be a strong presence.
Yeah, I'll be quick with it. I love Robin Lopez. I'm a Robin Lopez, just absolute stan. He's just a maniac. He looks crazy. He's got that.
I love when he fights people. It's like, oh my God.
But he's a guy. I remember watching Bulls games. He'd be the only guy down there. They're, the other team, the Magic specifically, was a game I was at. It crashed 4, and he'd be reaching up there with his long hand. He just toss it back up. He'd miss, but it's okay. He got the rebound. He can kick it out now. So why not? Why the heck not? We need a big guy.
$1 million.
It's going to be cheap. I'll tell you that. It will be cheap, and I will love every second of it.
Do you think Tony Bradley would get cut if Robin came to the Bulls?
Dude, I'd do it.
I'm sorry. Nothing against him, but send him to Windy City and let him get reps because he looks confused out there.
Bring up Marco.
I would like that too. I would like
do a whole Marco baby Kukoc episode one day, maybe.
Absolutely. Dude, he had 25 points and 22 rebounds a couple games ago for Windy City. So, but Tony, last guy, I'm just going to hit on this one because this shocks me. John Wall could get bought out and come to, I know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Middle school vibes right there. I can't believe this guy was once arguably a number 1 point guard in the NBA besides Derrick Rose. So we'll give him number 2. When I went to DC in middle school, that was the jersey everyone was buying in DC. Because he was the face, and
he was the guy of the NBA. Honestly, he was next. It's a real shame. Yeah.
But it's a real shame. Now he's a bought out player. I mean, he could probably still ball, but just unfortunate what happened to him. Any comments, Tony, before we close out?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd do it. I mean, just for fun. Again, another one just for
I know
fun.
I said we don't need a point guard, but that'd be cool.
It's John Wall. Like, you can't not bring in John Wall, right? We just sing the song the whole time. It'd be awesome.
Like that intro, like besides like the Bulls intro, like when John Wall comes in, like everyone would be like, hey.
Oh,
like,
yeah. And yeah, realistically, not on the list of needs, not exactly a guy we should maybe make our top priority. But if it's like, we didn't really get anyone and we got some money to spend here, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah,
maybe trade him next year. Maybe do a little 2-year thing and try to just ship him off. Work him up his value a little bit, ship him off in the offseason for a late second or like a 2027 second round pick.
No. Could you imagine if the Bulls got John Wall and Derrick Rose on the roster just for shits and gigs?
Oh, that would be incredible. But
take me back.
Yeah, those days are unfortunately long gone. Although Derrick Rose still doing okay, doing honestly better than John Wall is. But either way. Nick, I think that will do it for another episode of Just Another Year Chicago. Thanks for coming on. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Keep seeing red out there, everyone.
See red.